7 powerful kings rule humanity, but one of them wants to destroy it. A flashback reveals a startling rivalry between HOMRA and Scepter 4, led by Mikoto Suo and Risey Munakata, that rages throughout Shizyum Town. Sukuna Gaju, a J-rank clansman from the jungle of the Green Clan, targets Kuro Yatagami and Nico with a parrot plushie stuffed with a bomb in the present day. Meanwhile, Scepter 4 becomes aware that Jungle views their missions as a game. Sukuna later broadcasts a disturbing message mocking Mikoto and Tetara Tatsuka's deaths. This entices Misaki Yada and Saruhiko Fushimi into a building prior to the arrival of the rest of their respective clans. When Jungle arrives to use parrot plushie bombs to eliminate HOMRA and Scepter 4, the two clans overwhelm Jungle with their strength. One deserter from the jungle makes his way into the alleyway behind the building, but is apprehended by Kuro and Nico. His cell phone deprives him of all points and abilities. Kuro and Nico deduce from this that no answers will be forthcoming from strangers. While Kuro and Nico continue their journey, Yashiro Asana enters the city. Kuro meets with Risey Munakata at the Scepter 4 office to discuss Nagare Hisui, the 5th, and Green King's control of Jungle of the Green Clan, a social networking site where members complete missions and earn points to determine their clan rank. Additionally, Risey notes that the E rank is the lowest position in Jungle, while the J rank is the highest. Although Kuro is unaware of Yashiro's whereabouts at the moment, Risey states that Yashiro will be responsible for the Dresden Slate safekeeping. Kuro declines Risey's offer of protection and residency. Rather than that, Risey assigns Saruhiko the task of tailing Kuro as he exits. Sari Oshima interrogates GKI Zenj, the former right-hand man of Jin Habari, the former Blue King, about the Kagutsu crater incident 14 years ago, in which he murdered Genji Kagutsu, the previous Red King, and lost his left arm in the process. Nico hangs out at the HOMRA bar with Anna Kushina in order to avoid meeting Risey and Saruhiko. Nico, on the other hand, declines HOMRA's offer of residency and protection. Nagare, Yukari Misakuji, Sukuna, Tenkei Iwafune, and Katasaka the Parrot meet in their jungle hideout to discuss their plan in response to Sukuna's disturbing message, as well as Nagare's desire to meet Yashiro. Nagare, who is revealed to be wheelchair-bound, assigns Yukari the mission of eliminating Kuro while bringing Nico back to life. Sukuna accepts Yukari's invitation to accompany her on this mission. While Kuro and Nico operate out of Yashiro's dorm room, Izumo Kusanagi discovers that Jungle has placed bounties on Misaki and Saruhiko. Misaki visits the school island in search of Nico in order to return a pair of underwear she left behind as a favor for Anna, but runs into Saruhiko. As Yukari arrives to deal with Kuro, Sukuna splits up in order to attack Misaki and Saruhiko for bonus points. Just as Yukari is about to kill Kuro on the bridge, Yashiro intervenes. As Sukuna continues to fight Misaki and Saruhiko, they all are caught by surprise by Yashiro's Sword of Damocles at the bridge from a distance. Nagare directs Yukari and Sukuna to withdraw from battle via Katasaka. After Kuro and Nico welcome Yashiro's return, Yashiro calls a meeting with Anna and Risey in the dorm room, proposing an alliance to deal with Jungle. Yashiro announces the death of Daikaku Kokujoji, who was the safekeeper of the Dresden Slate. Nagare is so interested in Yashiro because he possesses knowledge in the Dresden Slate, considering him a wild card. Anna and Risey agree on the alliance, although Risey declines Yashiro's offer of protecting the Dresden Slate together, as Risey says that he cannot rely on someone who has already ran away once. Yashiro is unable to answer while remembering how he left Daikaku in Germany long ago, but accepts the outcome. Yashiro visits the home of Daikaku, where he reveals that his sister Claudia Weissman left her research behind stored away in a wooden box. The timeless palace of the Gold Clan pays a visit to Yashiro, Hiro, and Nico's home, obtaining permission from Yashiro to maintain the current system without active participation. Risey informs the Prime Minister that the Dresden Slate within Miyashira Tower has been transferred to Sector 4 at the HOMRA bar. Izumo recalls when Yashiro asked him to inform Anna to keep an eye on Risey, whose sword of Damocles is rapidly deteriorating. Anna remarks that she was able to meet HOMRA as a result of the Dresden Slate, but she does not wish for anyone else to suffer the same fate as Mikoto. Nagare contacts Yashiro via Kadasaka, requesting to form an exclusive alliance in order to advance mankind's evolution. Yashiro declines, stating that things have changed significantly in the last 70 years. Nagare intends to seize the Dresden Slate by force, which Risey is attempting to suppress. Yashiro confirms Nagare's involvement in the Academy Island incident from a year ago. Nagare convenes a meeting with Yukari, Sukuna, and Tenkei to discuss a plan of attack on Christmas Eve at Miyashira Tower to seize control of the Dresden Slate. Meanwhile, the Silver Clan convenes an auditorium meeting with HOMRA and Sector 4 in preparation for Yashiro to lead a counterattack to defend the Miyashira Tower. Yashiro reveals that he is completely familiar with Nagare, stating that Nagare once challenged Daikaku to a fight, as Daikaku's records of the incident were preserved and passed on to Yashiro prior to his death. Once Yashiro explains the counterattack strategy, he receives support from HOMRA and Sector 4 on Christmas Eve, as Sector 4 attempts to delay Yukari and Sukuna on the ground floor. Yashiro informs Kuro that Nagare may possess sufficient strength to defeat the three kings and all clansmen alone, but only for a brief period. Yukari is imprisoned on the upper floors by HOMRA, while Sukuna is imprisoned by the Silver Clan. Despite Tenkei's pleas, Nagare tears his straitjacket apart and flees to join the battle. Yukari flees HOMRA and Sector 4 as Nagare begins his charge to the upper floors, then rescues Sukuna from the Silver Clan. The three allied clans advance to the third phase, putting the Miyashira Tower under complete lockdown and communicating solely through Anna's psychic abilities. The plan is to slow and weaken Nagare's power with a series of barricades, eventually forcing him to face Anna. Anna confronts Nagare as he makes his way to the chamber containing the Dresden Slate. However, Nagare is finally brought to a halt by Risey in a single strike. Nagare compares himself to Nico, whom he refers to as Miyabi Amino, because both have defined themselves independently of human characteristics. Risey inquires as to whether Nagare believes he can still obtain the Dresden Slate despite his exhaustion. Nagare responds that he was merely laying the groundwork for someone more qualified to fight. Tenkei enters the chamber as another sword of Damocles mysteriously manifests above the structure, revealing himself as the Sixth and Grey King. Tenkei discovered a young Nagare under the rubble 14 years after the Kagutsu crater incident, whose heart had been pierced by a stone. However, Nagare emitted a green light and a sword of Damocles materialized above him. Tenkei claims in the present that he is no longer Seigo Tori, the Sixth and Grey King, but rather Nagare's freeloading surrogate father. While Tenkei is engaging in combat with his fog, Risey provokes Tenkei by mentioning Cathedral of the Grey Clan, claiming that Tenkei fled into hiding after failing to save his clansmen and 700,000 civilians during the Kagutsu crater incident, but Tenkei remains unfazed. Tenkei breaks Risey's sword with a gun, further damaging Risey's sword of Damocles, allowing Tenkei to flee with Nagare and the Dresden Slate. While Yashiro contemplates his next move, Saruhiko and Misaki have a brief argument about their recent defeat. Saruhiko then shuns Risey due to her powerlessness and cowardice in defeating Tenkei. When Saruhiko tenders his resignation, Risey castigates him for his treachery. Saruhiko abruptly abandons Sector 4 and joins Jungle. Saruhiko frees Daohan Hirasaka, a former U-rank clansman of Jungle, from her prison cell after learning she joined jungle solely for financial gain. 1 month later, the news reports that people throughout the city are developing supernatural abilities, but this is secretly due to jungle's use of the Dresden Slate. Nagare, Yukari, Sukuna, Tenkei, and Katasaka notice that Daohan and Saruhiko are actively collecting points in their hideout. Yashiro devises the resonant hammer effect in his dorm room as a special countermeasure to reclaim the Dresden Slate. Sari and Izumo spend the evening at Jungle's masquerade ball. They are quickly pursued throughout the building after stealing a party guest's phone. The mobile phone, however, is destroyed by none other than Saruhiko, who has accumulated enough points to achieve J-rank status. Saruhiko is invited to the hideout by Yukari after escaping through the floor with the assistance of Daohan. Saruhiko explains to Yukari that he joined Jungle out of curiosity after attaining the highest rank, only to be disappointed with the reward of a sushi party. Nagare is counting on Saruhiko as a jungle member because the remainder of their plan has just begun. Saruhiko becomes the game's administrator after reaching J rank, much to Sukuna's chagrin, but Yukari intervenes to prevent them from starting a fight. Sari is shocked to learn that the Prime Minister has fired Risey as captain for failing to prevent the Dresden Slate's theft, while Scepter 4 is detained until further notice. Anna informs Izumo and Risey at the HOMRA bar that Yashiro intends to destroy the Dresden Slate. Risey informs Anna and Izumo that he intends to continue pursuing order, even if his sword of Damocles is threatened. He is reminded of how this situation has flipped since he attempted to stop Mikoto a year ago. When Anna asserts that Risey is not comparable to Mikoto, a flashback shows the two fighting in the streets of Shizume Town. Before he departs, Risey informs Anna and Izumo that the King's alliance is null and void without him as captain. Yashiro presents Kuro and Nico with silver coins as the Silver Clan's new symbol, and Kuro officially renames the Silver Clan as the White Rice Party. Yashiro and Anna are both affected by the liberation of the Dresden Slate. As the Dresden Slate distributes power to all humanity, chaos ensues in the event of a global unnatural outbreak. Nagare guards the Yamito Gate and all paths leading to it, as well as the Dresden Slate, which grants him inexhaustible power due to his connection to it. He then requests that Tenkei greet Risey. Risey and GKI are obstructed on their way to the jungle's secret base by Jungle U-rank members. Sari resigns from the clan after observing Risey and GKI via video surveillance, as she wishes to remain by Risey's side. She transfers the acting captaincy to Himori Akiyama, who directs Scepter 4 to intercept Jungle. Saruhiko unlocks the Yamito Gate for Risey, prompting Nagare to label him a traitor and Sukuna to challenge him to a duel. As Tenkei approaches Risey and GKI, the Schattenreich crashes to the ground directly behind Tenkei, unaffected by his fog. Then Risey and Tenkei begin to clash. Misaki was informed by Risey in a flashback that Saruhiko joined Jungle on Risey's orders, as Saruhiko was the only one capable of a successful infiltration, despite the potentially dire consequences. In the present, following the crash of the Schattenreich, HOMRA attacks and covers the jungle's secret base, allowing the White Rice Party to reach Nagare. Meanwhile, with the assistance of his clansmen, Risey defeats Tenkei. As this occurs, Risey's sword of Damocles begins to approach its Damocles down limit, and Sari stands ready to murder Risey. While Saruhiko and Misaki battle and defeat Sukuna, Misaki explains to Saruhiko that his willingness to risk his life for Risey in his capacity as the Blue King does not make him a traitor. Saruhiko has an unexpected escape route planned by Daohan after Misaki rejoins the rest of HOMRA. Kuro is challenged to a duel against Yukari on his way to the bottom level of the jungle's secret base, while Yashiro and Nico abandon Kuro. When Yashiro and Nico reach the secret base at the bottom of the jungle, Nagare informs Yashiro that Nico was also a survivor of the Kagutsu crater incident and manipulated her own memory to live as a cat. Meanwhile, Anna amasses the strength of her clansmen and creates a path to the bottom level, exposing Yashiro, Nico, and Nagare to the swords of Damocles wielded by the remaining 4 kings. Hiro successfully defeats Yukari and advances to the bottom level. Yashiro pushes the resonant hammer effect to its limit, initiating Damocles down and effectively negating the Dresden Slate's power. Ryze is spared death when the swords of Damocles vanish, but Nagare perishes when the Dresden Slate is destroyed. Tenkei orders the White Rice Party to evacuate the collapsing secret base, but he stays behind with Nagare. As everyone else evacuates, Yashiro informs Kuro and Nico that he must leave his teenage body, which he possessed solely due to the Dresden Slate's power. In the epilogue, Nico takes on the role of a student at Ashinaka High School, while Yashiro assumes the role of a teacher in his adult body.